we are going to focus relentlessly on eradicating this false distinction between anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism. The Secretary could not have been clearer. He stood before 18,000 activists at the AIPAC Policy Conference just 2 weeks ago, and he declared, I quote, "Let me go on the record, anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism." That will be our rallying cry as we go forward to fight this ancient scourge that sadly is on the rise today and must be combated. And we're very proud that this department and this administration is focused in unprecedented fashion on doing that.
You will have seen that one of the founders of the BDS movement has said that he was denied entry into the United States. He was supposed to arrive. I presume, but I want to ask you, is this something that you support? Do you equate the BDS movement with anti-Semitism, not just as, and regard it as something more than criticism or an attempt to change the policies of the government of Israel?
So an individual has a right to buy or not buy what they please. However, if there is an organized movement to economically strangle the state of Israel, that is anti-Semitic. And the administration has gone on the record as being opposed unequivocally to the BDS movement. And the idea that somehow there can be movements organized to deny Israel its legitimacy. And not to allow Israel to participate in economic commerce in the world. Sure, that is. Hatred of the Jewish state is hatred of the Jewish people, and that's something that's very clear, and that is our policy.
Well, but so you're convinced that BDS is actually hatred of the Jewish state and not just opposition to the government of the Jewish state's policies?
So like I said, a person can decide what they want to buy, but if there is a movement that is dedicated to strangling the Jewish state out of existence, that is anti-Semitism.
Okay, last one. So it's okay for one person to decide that he or she doesn't want to buy, but if two people talk about it together, that's a conspiracy, or more, that's a conspiracy, and that's bad, and that,
well, look,
and then then it becomes anti-Semitic.
Well, the BDS movement is well known. This isn't a ragtag group. I mean, there are international organizations, there are websites, it's organized, and the stated goals are clear. And the stated goals on the website of the BDS movement is to deny the state of Israel economic prosperity and to not deny legitimacy, and that is anti-Semitism.
Just to follow up on Matt's question, do you make a distinction between boycotting Israel per se and boycotting products that produce in the settlements that's considered illegal under international law?
So refusing to buy products made by Jewish communities and wanting to buy products made by Arab communities that live next door to each other seems to me to be discriminatory. That seems pretty clear to me.
But this is settlements. Settlements under international law is illegal. So I'm trying to figure out from a legal point of view, do you see that, okay, is it considered?
Like I said, if two communities are living side by side and one refuses to buy from Jews and one wants to buy from non-Jews, I think that's pretty clear what that is.
Hi, thank you. I'm a little bewildered at how you don't see a distinction between Jewish settlements and Arab villages in the West Bank. Those are different communities, and the Israeli one is there illegally under international law. I'm going to try to go at the same question my colleagues have been asking in a different way. Do you not see a distinction between anti-Semitism and the criticism of and opposition to policies of the Israeli government?
So that's a very different question. And yes, absolutely. Criticism of a country. May I answer? Criticism of the policies of any country, whether it's the state of Israel or of the United States, is entirely proper and can't be regarded as being inappropriate. However, as you may know, the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance definition of anti-Semitism gives as a specific example the application of double standards to the state of Israel. And so if Israel is criticized in a way that no other country in a similar circumstance is criticized, yes, that is anti-Semitism.
Having covered the Israeli-Palestinian issues for, like many other people in this room, for a very, very long time, we know that U.S. Former President Jimmy Carter did refer to Israel as an apartheid state, that it's more of a human rights issue, especially in terms of policy and a lot of things that the Trump administration has done, moving the U.S. Embassy, recognizing the sovereignty of Israel over the Golan Heights as not recognized under the international community. Can you tell me why you think Israeli settlements and a boycott, which was reminiscent of sort of South African sanctions issues and divestment, is an anti-Semitic issue specifically and not really one of more of a human rights or two peoples that need to get along?
I think any comparison between the state of Israel and apartheid is offensive to its core. And anyone who makes that comparison needs to check their facts. Israel is an exemplar of a democracy with democratic values where all citizens of Israel not only vote, but have representation in the Knesset, including, by the way, in the election we saw just yesterday. And so any notion that the state of Israel, which is a shining example of a democracy and a shining example of an American ally, one of our best allies, any suggestion that the state of Israel in any way, even remotely, reflects apartheid is offensive.